What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to go into the second part of our stigmas of rock collecting. As I went online trying to learn more about metal detecting, a lot of people started hating on metal detector people because basically they're finding Civil War artifacts, and when they pick them up out of the ground, they mess up the placement of where the bullets landed, and these archaeologists can't really figure out exactly what happened during the events based on people picking this stuff up. And the same stuff goes for like petrified wood. You can't figure out exactly where the petrified wood came from just because you mailed it back to the national forest that you stole it from and you don't want it anymore. That's the problem. Like in Arizona, they just have a pile right there next to the ranger station of all the petrified wood people send back because it's useless to any of the information about where it came from. It's as random as anything now. So that's your little stigma for the day. And then your counter stigma for it, of course there's always going to be two sides to every story, is that when people are going to develop the land, if it is public land, if it's not just a national forest or a protected area, it will be developed by houses eventually, or commercial buildings, or mining. It doesn't really matter what it was bought for. Once someone bought it, it gets developed, and they're going to basically have the rights to be quiet about the land. Maybe they did find an Indian burial ground, but they just built a bunch of houses right over the top of it. And that stuff kind of sucks, but it's what happens because the money goes in motion. Once the project goes into motion, it has different times where things need to be completed, and the money has to be made back for the developer to go on to the next project, or else he's gonna go bankrupt. So most all of those housing projects and stuff, they're very quiet about trying to let some archaeologists come in and hang out on their land and slow their project down. And it's those guys that are like, you could cut a deal with them and just be like, I'm just about this. Just let me hang out here, And they'll be like, all right, just be quiet about it. And then maybe, yeah, you can get permission for those sort of things. That's how that works. Once you start shooting off a bunch of flares and telling everybody about everything, you're going to upset the project manager and put your own job at risk, basically, for whatever company you work for. If you turn into a whistleblower, believe me, the project isn't going to be happy with you. So recognize the industrial world does not care. They will just pave right over Indian artifacts, tourmalines, gold. There's different motives in mind. Once they find an area to put some houses, that's it. They don't care about anything else. They're stuck to a target. If it's public land, it will be developed eventually, and you need to just basically take it as, free pickings for now, because it will be private later. Trust me, each year we have to fight for the land that we have, and you should get involved in the land that you already rockhound on and try to, fight for it, because it does matter. But rocks, they weather away. Don't get all upset that you're taking too many rocks. They go back into the rock cycle and they disappear. They go into mudslides, blah blah blah.